The Receive Items and Enter Bill function can be found under the Vendor drop-down menu or one of the icons representing this function. Once selected, the window that appears is the Enter Bills window that we also covered in Lesson 8. The only difference between using the Receive Items and Enter Bill choice and the Enter Bills choice is the default tab that will be highlighted when you select Receive Items and Enter Bill is the Inventory tab will show versus the Expense tab when you just select Enter Bills. Outside of this difference, the functionality is the same. But in either case, when you select the vendor that you want to receive your items against, you will be prompted to receive against any purchase orders open for the vendor selected as represented in this pop-up window. By clicking Yes to this window, you will be shown whatever open purchase orders exist, and then you can select one or more open purchase orders you would like to receive against. I'm just going to select the most recent one I created here, and once selected, I'm going to say OK, and then notice the information I created in the purchase order automatically populates the body of the Enter Bills window in the Items tab. If the purchase order information is complete in all respects to what you are going to receive and how you are being billed from your vendor, then you don't have to change anything, except you would probably put in a reference number for the bill you received, and you will want to make sure the bill due date is correct and may want to put in a memo as well. Also, many times you may not know what your freight charges are going to be and may need to add this to the Enter Bills transaction. Unless you are tracking your freight as an item of some type, many businesses just expense their freight, and this can be done by clicking on the Expense tab and putting in the freight amount. Let's say it's $25, and now by doing so, you have a bill made up of an Items tab total and an Expenses tab total. For any type of transaction in Enter Bills, you can use both tabs if needed. Also notice in the Item tab there is a column that references the purchase order number, and if you want to take a look at the original purchase order, you can click on the Show PO tab and your purchase order will pop up. The Clear Quantity tab merely clears the quantity you have showing if you need to do this. Also on the top of the window is a taskbar allowing you to perform various tasks such as going back or forward to previous bills entered, creating a new bill, saving, deleting, copying, memorizing, printing, or attaching a file to the transaction you are in, and other functions covered in Lesson 8 for entering bills. To complete the transaction, you can click on Save, Save and Close, or Save and New. Once you record this transaction, QuickBooks will update the dollars and quantity for the items received and will record them as inventory based on how the items were set up, which in our case we had set up to be recorded as such. Remember, when you receive inventory, it is an asset until you sell it, and then when you sell it, the cost of goods sold related to the sales is recorded and the quantity of dollars of inventory sold is relieved from your inventory balances. This way, QuickBooks accurately records the ins and outs of inventory and keeps your records straight. As a final note for this session, I want to point out that if you want to first receive your inventory and then enter the bill for the inventory later, QuickBooks allows you to first receive the inventory by selecting Receive Items under the Vendor drop-down menu. Receiving items follows the same procedures as we just completed before, but the bill information is not entered yet. Once you get the bill, then you select the Enter Bills for Received Items under the Vendor drop-down menu, and then you will be prompted for the vendor receipt, and once chosen, the Enter Bills window populates, and then you will fill in whatever necessary details to record the bill as we did previously, and then you can save the transaction.